It was just a normal day. Cheese Sandwich was out for a walk when he saw something that shocked him and shattered his heart. The thing that he saw was his girlfriend kissing another stallion. He could not have believed it. He managed to hide behind a building so that she couldn't see him. He was devastated because it has been 2 years since he moved to Trottingham. And ever since he moved, he actually encountered this mare who eventually became his girlfriend. And they dated for 2 years. And now, she had been cheating on him with this stallion. He had no idea exactly how long that has been going on. So that same afternoon, when she came over to his apartment, he acted as nothing had happened. But he did try to convince himself maybe he was seeing something wrong or mistaken it. But he wanted to just to have it cleared. So he asked her, I have to ask you something. Yeah? Um, did you, by any chance, were on a stallion earlier today? Yeah, actually, I was. And that's actually my new boyfriend. Your new boyfriend? But we have been going on for 2 years. How long has this been going on? For a couple of months now, she said, without any remorse whatsoever. I mean, if you really didn't like me that much anymore, you could have just at least told me and moved on, rather than just been cheating on me. But she just laughed and said, "So what? Every pony does do it." He couldn't even believe it. He just told her to leave, and she did without even saying another word. For the next couple of days afterwards, Cheese Sandwich felt so depressed and so heartbroken that every single funny part of him was all swept away. He could not have believed what he had experienced there. So he made the final choice what to do next. He informed the landlord that he is moving away from Trottingham. The landlord was quite surprised because Cheese Sandwich has always been a very good tenant and always helped others, especially when they had a bad day. And even though the landlord did ask why he was going to move, he just gave him the simple answer: my ex cheated on me and I can't stay here anymore. With that, the landlord agreed. So, after that week, Cheese Sandwich didn't have any other homes to go to. So, he did decided to go back to Ponyville. He had reached out to Pinky by letter to informing her that he will be returning back to Ponyville. She wrote back to him just before he moved out that she is open to have him back as a friend. And when he did arrive to Ponyville, she waited for him at the train station. They actually went to Sugarcube Corner to just small talk and at least to understand what had been happening for him. Wow, that must have been rough, said Pinky. She was devastated to hear this, because ever since he moved to Trottingham 2 years earlier, Pinky and Cheese Sandwich had been remaining in contact by letters from time to time. So, what are they going to do now? Asked Pinky. I don't know. Probably go back to Manhattan to my family. How about you stay here in Ponyville, though? I mean, I really don't even have enough money for that. You know? I could probably stay at the hotel for just a couple of days, but that's it. Yeah, but would have to try to, you know, earn money. Really? With what? Well, my friend Part Favor actually opened up a store here in Ponyville, and I probably think you can actually work with him. Oh, and what kind of business did he do? He actually, like myself, he likes to throw parties and all that, and he actually owns his own party store. So I thought maybe that could be worth your time. At least get back to your confidence and maybe I don't know. At least give you back the confidence on that. You know what? I can probably do that. And how about you stay here at Shikuku Corner instead for the hotel? I mean, they do have another guest room that you can use. I mean, I could talk to Mr. and Mrs. Cake about it, just in case. You think that they will let me stay here? Yeah, positive. I mean, they're like my family, so I mean, I could just go downstairs and ask them right now, though. If you think that's worth the time, sure. Pinky then left the room and actually went downstairs. After about a couple of minutes, she came back up again and she had a big smile. Well, they gave it all the approval. Well, that's a good thing. So, by the next day, Pinky went along with Cheese Sandwich to Part Favor's store, and he actually had an interview with Cheese Sandwich just to understand what his complications are, what he was qualified to do, and he was hired. And even though it took time for him to slowly regain his confidence, but even so, he didn't felt the same thing anymore. Even that Pinky did want to see him from time to time at Part of Favor's store, just to see how he's been doing. And even though Pinky and Cheese Sandwich did sometimes meet up even after work, just to spend time to get to know each other a bit more, and just try to help him to move on from this heartbreak. There were some ponies in town that suspected maybe Pinky and Cheese Sandwich were dating. There were some rumors about it, but Pinky actually explained they weren't dating. They were just friends. But one day, when he is at the market talking to Big Macintosh and Applejack, he sees a zebra. He walks up to her and says hello. And he said, "Hi, I haven't seen you around here before." And she said that her name is Zecora. She doesn't live in Ponyville, but she lives outside of town. Really? Where? He asked. In Every Forest, she said. How can you live in one of the most dangerous places in Equestria? Applejack said, "Well, she has her ways, that's for sure." Yup, said Big Mac. But how? Well, she lives in a hut there. And what is she doing? She makes potions, tonics, medicines, all sorts of things that you can probably need. Oh, really? Yep, she does, said Applejack. Well, it was at least nice to meet you, though, Zecora. Likewise, said Zecora. And then Cheese Sandwich unfortunately had to go back to work since he was on his lunch break. But ever since that day when he first encountered Zecora, for some reason he couldn't get it out of his mind. If for some reason he felt attracted to her, not only because of her beauty, but also her mysterious aura. There was something about her that really drawn her into him. So he decided why not to ask her, maybe get to know each other better. So he had asked Pinky where to find Zecora's hut in every forest. Since most ponies don't usually go into that particular forest without knowing exactly where she lives. And Pinky gave him some of the basic directions on how to find Zecora's hut in every forest. While he was walking towards the every forest, Cheese Sandwich was actually curious to know more about Zecora. In the way of how she is speaking, it's quite of an interesting way. And for ever since though he had only known her just for about a couple of days now, he felt more attracted to her. And when he arrived to every forest, he remembered the directions that Pinky gave him. So he walked in the forest and hoped that he would even get lost. After all, there was a quite big forest. But thanks to his directions that he was given by Pinky, he managed to find Zecora's hut without a problem. And even Zecora was actually a bit surprised to see him. She even asked him why when he was even there. And he said that he wanted to meet her and just to get to know her a little bit better. She invited him in, even made some tea and some snacks, and they just sat there, small talk. And even though she somehow felt a connection between them, she asked him, like, what was the reason that he decided to move back to Ponyville? Even though he had nothing to hide, so he told her the truth. For 2 years, he was dating this mare in Trottingham, and only for a couple of months before he moved, turned out that she had been cheating on him with another stallion. And Zecora was actually surprised and also a bit hurt to hear this. She said that she had never experienced of any heartbreaks in that particular way since she had never dated. He was surprised, and he said, why not? I mean, a beautiful zebra as you. I'm quite surprised that you haven't even had any form of romance. She blushed and said that he thanked her. She thanked him for calling him cute. But then she said that, I know you once in relationship with Pinky. How did you know? And I said, and he simply said that Pinky had told her. And he realized Pinky doesn't even have any secrets from any of her friends. Even while they were enjoying the tea, Cheese Sandwich even asked Zecora why in Equestria she wanted to live in this particular forest in the first place, considering it's one of the most dangerous places in Equestria there is. She said that she felt home at this place. And even though her hut is protected from any danger of the forest, so they didn't have to be worrying of any timber wolves or even other animals just storming in. And afterwards, he said goodbye to Zecora, but before he left, he turned around and asked her if she maybe wanted to go out with him. She said yes, without even hesitation. When he went back to Ponyville, he actually told Pinky, and she was so happy about it. And she said that now is the time to celebrate the party. But Cheese actually declined for any celebrations, which surprised her. He said, "It's not like we are dating anything right now, Pinky. I only asked her once. It's not a guarantee that might even be that long." And she understood. But despite that, within the next couple of days, they actually went on their first date. They actually went on a restaurant as the first choice. And there were no awkward between them. They were actually the opposite. They had a good time. And even after they left the restaurant, they actually decided to make more opportunities to go on dates. And only about a couple of weeks after the first date, they actually made it official. They were actually quite surprised of it was so quickly. And even so, one day when Cheese Sandiwch was at home, at the time he actually had earned enough money so that he can buy his own place. He had received a letter. It was actually from a friend back in Trondheim. And he was actually inviting Cheese Sandiwch to Trondheim to just spend some time, which he did miss. So he wrote back to his friend that he will be back in Trondheim in the next couple of days. He had informed Zecora about this, and she had no problem with it. But when he arrived to Trondheim, he was greeted by his friend by the train station, and as they were walking along the street, he heard a voice behind him. Cheese Sandiwch? Is that you? Cheese Sandiwch immediately recognized the voice of his ex-girlfriend. He turned around, and sure enough, there she stood, alone. So that was you. I thought you moved away. How have you been? Uh, you know, I've been doing well. Work, spend some time with friends, the usual. What about you? Work the same. So, are you perhaps moving back to Trondheim? Uh, no. Why? Well, I actually missed you, and I was thinking if you maybe want to go back to be together again. Even Cheese Sandwich friend looked very surprised, and he actually even jumped in the conversation. It's like, wait, what about the stallion that you cheat on him with? What about him? Oh, that stallion. Well, turned out I was one of his other side girls that he was dating at the side. He was never serious about me and him, anyways. So, what do you say, Cheese? Want to go back to be together? I had declined. But what? Oh, yeah, it's declining for that for sure. And the reason? I have found some pony else to be with. Not a pony, but a zebra. A zebra? You gotta be kidding me. Nope. She is way better than you. How dare you? How dare I? How dare I? You cheated on me for several months when we were dating. How did you even expect me to just simply forgive you and take you back? Do you honestly thought I would even do that? Well, yeah. I mean, you have always been the easy one to forgive things. Sure, but that one you did was way too forgivable. I mean, not in a million years I would never date you again. So, please, as long as I'm here, don't ever approach me. I don't even want to see you. I don't even want to talk to you. Thanks. And then he left with his friend, just ignoring her calling out to him. He only stayed in Trottingham for just a couple of days before going back to Ponyville. Even when he went back home, he ran into Pinky. She asked him how his time in Trottingham had been. He said, well, the usual, met up some friends, ran into my ex who wanted me to take me back. What? Seriously? Yep, actually did. But that's not happening. I mean, I have Zecora now, so why in the world would I even do that? Just wow, that your ex wanted to take you back? How crazy is she? You know what? And I'm not going to take her back at all. I mean, Zecora is much better than her. Oh yeah, big time, she is much better than your ex. Good thing you're on that too, Pinky. Ever since that day, she's always appreciated his friends, but most of all, his relationship with Zecora. It only grew stronger and stronger for each single day that passed. And after being dating for about 2 years, they decided why not to take the next step in their relationship. So he actually took Zecora to the meadows for a picnic and proposed to her. She said yes immediately. They decided to have a small wedding in town with a few friends and of course his family. Pinky had been asked to be Zecora's maid of honor and Big Macintosh to be Cheese Sandiwch best man. And even after there was a small wedding afterwards, there was just a small wedding reception party, and every pony had a great time. They even eventually went on their honeymoon to Baltimore. There, they just had a great time. A lot of sightseeing, just enjoying some of the food and other local performance. They were just happy to have entered a new chapter in their lives. But after about 2 years, they wanted to start a family of their own. And then they actually got the news that Zecora was in fact pregnant. And the day came where the baby was born. And they had a son, who they named Switch Stripe Sandwich. He actually showed some interest of his mother's potion making, and she actually taught him how to make potions, tonics, medicine, and all kinds of things. He actually even opened up a small shopping town where he actually made the things and even sold them. And he was actually happy about this. And he even ran into a mayor in Ponyville, and they actually got married after being dating for about 4 years. And later, they had 3 daughters and 1 son together. What Cheese went through back in Trondheim several years earlier, he was devastated. He actually had assumed that they would eventually get married at some point. But he was actually happy that that didn't happen. And he made the right choice to move to Ponyville, where he would be surrounded by friends and have a new phase to restart his life again. And that was also when he met Zecora, the true love of his life. Even though at the time he didn't know that. He was actually happy that he moved there. Zecora herself, she was actually quite happy that he actually did move to Ponyville. She was actually somehow interested in him even on the first day when they met. So if Cheese Sandwich never even moved to Ponyville, they wouldn't even have found their true love. So they were actually happy for all this. And, well, they were just happy. And this is how Cheese Sandiwch and Zecora found a true love, got a big family together. The end.